Hi everybody. In celebration of my 2,000 subscriber on YouTube, here's a studio tour. This is the angle that you are usually looking the show at, where I talk about the console and everything, but this is what I'm seeing. How's it going, guys? This is the screen where you'll usually see the program. So if I change camera or something on the console here, I always see what's going on to YouTube. Next to that is the chat, so I can read you guys comment. Eventually I want to turn my screen there into a prompter so I can look at the camera and see the chat, but that's a project for future me. I'm just not there yet at the moment. So as soon as I have some free time, I will take some time off and basically build a prompter with their glass and everything, but that's for the future. On the top of my head, those are little PARs. Can you see them? Yeah, there you go. You can see them. I have my big light right there and my microphone. This is the Beyerdynamic MC840. This is what you guys have been hearing for a long time on the show. This is an old broken Sony camera that I got for dirt cheap. The screen on it is dead, so the flip screen, like you can see on this one, I'm using it with an HDMI out and a battery, and I can just like use it to stream. Here is the lights that I'm using, those newer lights, 900 something LED. I can really make do with these. I have one standing right there. This is on a roof mount, so I can have all my stuff connected here, no cable on the ground. I only have my stand and a couple cables. I'm using USB audio for everything and switching, and also I need to have some kind of power. For power, I'm running everything to a UPS on the other side. Oh, before we go, I got a patch. Before I built the studio, well, the YouTube studio, I thought that I could do some live streaming here. So what I did is building myself a patch, and I thought that I could run the console over there and use that with camera and everything to do some live streaming here, but just never went through with that project. COVID hit, and like COVID hit again, the second wave, and no, not happening. Probably never will do live streaming of artists. I actually did one show with a friend, and the amount of space that I have here is too small for people to do acoustic stuff here. Okay, moving on. Power strip, like I said before, some acoustic panels on the wall next to my few guitar that I have left. This is This is the two that I decided to keep. I'm a huge Evertune bridge fan, so I have this Gibson SG retrofit with a Evertune. I also have this ESP LTD. This is a limited edition of 13 or 12 that went on to Extreme Lefty Guitar. Bought one of these again with the Evertune bridge. After that, I have my laptop that is always sitting there charging. Some acoustic panel that I built myself. Can you see in yeah, you can see a little bit. This is Roxul with steel frame. I took the ID from Glenn Fricker, and I decided to build myself some really cool frame for acoustic absorption. This is a 28-inch by 7.5, I think this is what I have here, or 7 feet high. I also have a full 48 inches, 4 feet wide panel in the center, and behind the light that you cannot see, I have another 28. So I built myself some angles there to fit with my angle desk. This is a bamboo countertop that I cut, and I reused the part that I cut and glue it back in here so I can have my studio shaped desk, and it's supported by two IKEA drawer, like those two metal IKEA drawer. Oh. And not really cable managed down here. An old Furman power bar that I love. Garbage can, cables, a lot of HDMI. On the desk itself, I don't usually keep much. I have a 58 to do video conference. I have my lovely Audient ID44. I love this audio interface because it has insert point. So if I ever want to use it with a compressor, I have a compressor send and return. You guys can probably see it here, in and out, send and return for compression on the first two input. Then after that, I have two more input. I used that a couple times to do some stuff like podcasts, recording few band like acoustic session here or there. I even did a show with my interface a couple weeks ago where it was just a guitar and a vocal. Put some reverb from Logic into my laptop and use this. The preamp do sound good, and I also have a small internal mixer that allow me to get through a 2-input gig really easily. Studio monitor wise, I'm using the Neumann HS80 DSPs. I have some EQ correction into them if I ever need to correct for my room. My room is not flat, it's not corrected, and I never took time to analyze it, but seriously, it's fine for what I do. I don't do a lot of mixing in here anymore, or not as much as I wanted to, so at the end of the day, it's just a really nice pair of speaker on speaker stand floating on each side of my desk. Next to that, we have, well, really good cable tester from Behringer. If you don't have one of these, you definitely need one of these. Some more acoustic treatment on the wall that a friend gave me. These panels were not made the size for my studio. They're just left over from a place that they were ripped off, and I grabbed those. I have a couple bass because I used to play a little bit of bass into some band, and oh yeah, again, more cable that's going out into a hole in the wall. On the other side of that, I have my computer. I'm running a Hackintosh, meaning that this is a PC that I'm running Mac OS on into. I have a 11th gen i9 Intel CPU, water cool into those big fan that you see right there. 64 gig of RAM, DDR4 RAM, a really expensive back in the day 6900 XT video card. Under that, I have a server SSD that I'm using to run Windows, because this is a dual boot. When I want to run my Diablo 2 Resurrected game for a few minutes, I can boot off of that. This is my Blackmagic capture card that run 4 HDMI cable in the back, so I can capture up to 4 camera. The reason why I don't have any cover on the computer is because of cooling. Where I have it sitting right now is not ideal for temperature. So if I take off the cover when I'm doing video editing, like I'm doing right now with this video, I can get decent temperature out of this computer, and it's going really fast. Here is the other side of the hole. All my cables are routed into that. Don't look at the mess around here. This is my part cemetery. This is an old server board that I will at some point put back into a computer. This is dual Xeon with 64 gig of RAM. And this is my UPS. I'm using a small APC UPS. And this is when I want to take my... Oh, actually, this is really funny. This is a box where you can put any PCI device. So if I ever want to do a capture of a live show, I can put my capture card into this and plug it into a laptop, so I can bring that with me. So all the cables connect to the computer, go in the roof. Here you have some leftover holes from the camera mount that used to be there at some point. More cable going into the camera in the roof, power for the lights and that camera too. I have some DIY acoustic panel. These are 16-inch by 4 feet acoustic panel that I screw into the roof. So I have a really dead sounding area right where I have the console. And to help with that, I also did some Colin. So these are 16 by 7 feet or 12 inches by 7 feet panel on each side. And I have at an angle in the back. Let me show you. I have an angle in the back. One more panel here that is cut to size for this room. And you probably cannot see this on YouTube, but this wall here behind me is angled for acoustic reason. I'm no acoustic expert, but I figure if I was to build a wall here, I should do it at an angle. So every plank of floor here, because this is flooring that I put on the wall, is at a 1-inch angle from one another, and it's helping out a lot with acoustic. When you speak into the wall, it doesn't sound like total garbage. It doesn't sound like a direct reflection. After that, we have, honestly, most of that stuff is going to be sold soon, because let's be honest, if it's been sitting on the shelf like this for a year or two, it's because I don't really need it. There is some stuff that I just keep for fun, like the box for my M201, my TG-I51. I really like that microphone. This is an old Sennheiser 421 case that I keep just in case that I ever have a mic to put into it, and my measurement microphone, my MM1, again from Beyerdynamic. After that, we have a pair of muffler. When I usually work with power tool, I'm using these. The Ultra DI from Behringer. I used to use this on bass to get really good bass sound. Is the cab simulation into this is really good. After that, we have some guitar strap, a power supply for my Rode microphone that I have just right there. Hold on. This is the case for the MC840 that you saw previously. And I have behind it a really cool and dusted Rode NTK. I do have the cable somewhere for that goes between this power supply and the mic, because this is a tube mic. Mini Crybaby guitar pedal, probably gonna get rid of that really soon, because again, I don't usually play guitar, and when I do, let's go full circle, I'm using the Podgo nowadays. For the no amount of guitar playing that I do, I don't play in bands anymore. It's more than fine for me to play at home, just having fun with my couple guitars. Here you have it. This is the studio tour. I hope it will inspire you to maybe build your own. I hope you find some gear that you will look out. If you have any question about the setup that I'm running here, feel free to ask them in the comments down below. Until the next one, I want you to please take care of yourself, and I see you guys later. Bye.